Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I'll be covering Berzerker, Fallen Order and Book 2 of Ronin by Frank Miller. I'll now get things organised for the first one that I'll be covering. So first things first, we move into the Berzerker. I think this is actually meant to be a one-shot. So, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. It's now time to move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end. And also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as we move into the beginning of the story, we end up getting a bit of a wanderer in the desert, but we don't exactly know who this wanderer is, and not until towards the end of the story. And of course they end up going to a bit of a enclosed location, to which we meet some strangers in the desert, I guess. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we end up finding out that the Queen takes advantage of Keanu Reeves' character called Unut. Well, even though it's not addressed as Unut, it would have been nice to have seen his name being mentioned, but we do get to see the character sort of like go through regeneration of sorts after being killed, and until they actually escape, I guess, her husband's empire and chooses to use him as a weapon. And as the story advances towards the end, the empire to which she was a part of does eventually get destroyed, and so does her life, or so does her life's work. And we do learn that this character is actually meant to be of some royalty, and of course she betrayed Unut just to use him as a weapon. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything in relation of time, to which we have addressed as many centuries ago. The location to which we get to see in this is one called Olos, it seems like. And we never really learn the Queen's name, but we do learn the King's name in this particular time frame, being King Arnak. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Ronin by Frank Miller. Oh, and the story rating was 7.5 out of 10 for Berzerker. Just in case I forgot to mention it. So moving into first things first, as we jump into Ronin Book 2, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we see that there's a bit of a fight between, I think it's Casey, and we also have Billy there, which is her son, which is also related to the main Ronin character, and they're going up against a villain by the name of Aquarius. So as the fight continues around the middle of the book, we get many scenes as to what this Aquarius might be. So definitely one very ugly organism. Until we're finally reunited once again with mother and son in their fight against Aquarius, but due to her injuries, it's now sort of like left to the son to try to defend her with, well, whatever skills he happens to have on scene. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything time-wise? No, we don't. Do we get anything location-wise as the way this is taking place? Not at all. But the key cast of characters that do seem to take place in the story are Billy, Aquarius, and last but not least, the character of Casey. The overall story rating in this I give is a 7 out of 10. Surprisingly lower than Berzerker, which I didn't expect to happen. But until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.